Hey, my name is Chris, and I want to welcome you to my shop and my channel. This is More Than Sawdust. Now, I'm passionate about a handful of things in life: my faith, my family, hunting, coffee, my beard, and woodworking. Now, this is my first video, and so if you'll hang out with me for a few minutes, I'd love to tell you about the channel, the purpose behind the channel, and kind of what we're going to do. Now, about a year ago, I decided, like most guys, I needed another hobby. Yeah, because I needed more stuff to spend money on and, you know, make a mess. So I marched myself down our hallway, got myself all pumped up, went to my wife's office, and asked her if I could buy more tools. And like most good wives, she of course said, "Why?" Well, I laid out my plan. I was going to make a side hustle out of the woodworking business and bring in more money and create things. Well, did some of that. I spent the last year doing vendor shows and having a booth at a vintage market and selling things on Facebook Marketplace. Tried all that stuff. Dabbled around in flipping furniture, making some custom furniture, a lot of home goods, and golly, all kinds of other stuff. Well, I thought this was going to be my retirement gig. That was the plan. One day I could quit our other job and just do woodworking for fun. But sometimes God has other plans. You see, 7 years ago, I left my corporate job of 21 years and I started a business for myself. And for the last 7 years, I've been building up that business, worked it into a very profitable business, both financially and spiritually and emotionally rewarding. Was feeling great about the direction where we were at. Then about 8 months ago, some long-term back issues started flaring up. And long story short, about 4 weeks ago, I had to have surgery and to alleviate a small bit of the back issues, but nowhere near all of it. So a lot of prayer and a lot of thinking, we decided that due to the nature of that business, it was a physical demanding job, that we were going to shut it down just for the sake of prolonging any other issues that I may have to take care of. Well, I believe when God closes one door, he opens another. And I think I had that urge to start a woodworking business a year ago for this very reason. So that hobby turned side hustle is now turning into a full-time business. I've helped build houses and remodel houses and build cabins. I mean, I do own a woodworking business after all, right? But I wouldn't call myself a master carpenter or a expert in fine woodworking by any means whatsoever. And I watch a lot of YouTube. A lot of YouTube. My wife says way more than I should. But I watch a lot of YouTube. And I watch a lot of woodworkers. I watch a lot of woodworkers on YouTube. And there are plenty of guys that are those very things. They are amazing at building incredible wood furniture and, man, anything else you can think of. And I'm going to keep learning and keep growing and keep improving my skills. We're going to do that right here on this channel. We're going to start a business together, grow a business together, mess up a lot of stuff together. But see, I don't want this channel to be about just woodworking. I want it to be about getting better. Getting better, not just with building things, but as fathers and as husbands and as men of faith, and purpose. Now, don't get me wrong. We're going to build a lot of stuff. Hopefully a lot of client stuff. But a lot of stuff. Now, it could be anything from furniture to home goods to totally useless stuff. And with my ADHD, there's no telling what we build. We may start with a bookshelf, may end up with a canoe. Who really knows? But along with that woodworking, I want to talk about things that really matter. I mean, let's face it, life doesn't end in the wood shop. In fact, I would say whether it's woodworking or anything else that we do, probably the least most important role we have. I want to talk about family and faith and our responsibilities and discipline and all the things that make up our daily life outside of what we do for a living or what we do for our hobbies. Guys, it's not just going to be serious stuff. All those things can be fun too. In fact, I would argue family, friends, it's probably more funny than it is serious. Hopefully, anyways. But you're going to see my mistakes. You're going to see sawdust everywhere. You're going to see projects that don't go as planned. I want this to be real, realistic. I want it to be real life, real business, and real learning. You see, life and business, they're not all polished. They're not all smooth. They're not all pretty all the time. You gotta sand away the rough edges to get to that. Sand away the rough edges. You see what I did there? But guys, I also want this channel to be interactive. Once a week, we're going to have a question that I put out. Could be on the videos. It could be on a short or something separate. But I'd love to get responses. And then we'll go through the answers together and just talk about it. It could be about life. It could be about, like I said earlier, being a husband, being a father. It could be about business. It could be about woodworking. But I want to go through all those things. I've also got to learn about making YouTube videos. For example, the lights I have in my shop out here, they're great for doing woodwork. They're horrible, as I'm finding out as I'm filming this, for filming videos. Like this giant line that's going across my face right now. Now, I'm not that pretty anyways, but that doesn't help. So we got to fix the lighting in here to make better videos. So we're going to learn about all that stuff together. We're also going to be in different locations. We're going to be in the shop sometimes. We're going to be in my office sometimes. We may be out in the middle of the woods sometimes, walking trails or building deer stands. Who really knows? And then we're going to have guests on the channel as well that like to build things that are just guys, that are men, everyday men. Some may be pastors. Some may be wood guys. Who knows what they're going to be? But we're going to talk about everything. And I hope you like that. I appreciate you hanging out with me today. Now, in the next video, we're going to do that obligatory shop tour. I really think that's required of all woodworking YouTubers. But that's what we're going to do. We'll take you around the shop. We'll show you the things that we've got, the things we're working on, the things I want to improve. And we're going to talk about starting a business with no debt and on a budget. Look, woodworking is fun and rewarding, and I pray that's what this channel is for you and for me, and hopefully a little entertaining too. So let's have some fun. Let's build some stuff. Let's talk about Jesus, and let's learn a little bit along the way. Remember, it's not about perfection. It's about purpose. If any of that sounds interesting or worth digging into, I'd love for you to subscribe, and let's build something that matters.